Mic check, mic check. We are live. Jerry Franklin Poe, 31 days of sharing. Reluctant Success family, we are coming to you with another episode. This is our evening, 7 p.m. episode of 31 days of sharing. And we are back with you again live. And I wanted to share something I was reading today that I wrote in my journal about 4 years ago. Question: do you have a journal? Are you writing down things that are happening in your life? Are you recording your thoughts, your ideas? I started doing this almost 20 years ago. I believe it's been that long because, when I think about time, it's like, yes, it's 2020. So it doesn't seem like it's been that long ago, but it has. And I think I'm on my 4th or 5th journal right now. This is my current journal right here. I like to get these custom made notebooks with, the paper, lined paper. And I just write my thoughts in there, write things in there. And I started doing this because I was introduced to a gentleman by the name of Jim Rohn, a great American philosopher, many years ago. And he said that a life worth living is a life worth recording. A life worth living is a life worth recording. So I just started journaling. I thought when I was younger that I would never write a journal. I was like, why would I do that? I hated it when teachers would say, oh, journal this and journal that. I'd be like, it was the worst thing for me to do was journal. But I started to understand that journaling doesn't always have to be writing about, the diary type situation. It could just be ideas you have, thoughts, what you're thinking, what you're feeling at that moment in time. I write down quotes that I like, what I'm grateful for. It's all different ways to journal. You can go out and look up different ways or different styles of journaling. But I've been doing this for a long time because one of the reasons I did it was to pass on my thoughts, my ideas to my children. So if I'm not here, if I'm no longer in this physical realm, I've passed on, then my family, my daughters, my grandchildren can go back and read what I wrote in my journal and see what I was thinking, to see what I was feeling, to see what ideas I had. So by recording it, it's like the stuff will live on forever. I believe that you can live on forever if you capture your ideas, your thoughts, and put it into content. So I was reflecting back. That's one of the things I like to do, is reflect back on what I wrote in the past. And I was looking back at something, and this is something I wrote almost 4 years ago, back in 2016, April, I think it was, of 2016. And I was reading it, and I was like, oh man, this is interesting, because I don't even remember writing it. That's so. And what's so funny about journaling is sometimes I'll read stuff and I'll forget that I wrote it, and it's hard for me to even imagine myself writing it because it's that good. I'm like, I can't believe I wrote something that's good. Oh my goodness. So it's funny. So I wrote this, and I'll read it to you from my notes here. It says, it's not our past, it's our present that defines us. Make each day count towards progress. Make the most of the moment. And I'll say it again for you, for those who are trying to capture all this good stuff. It's not our past, it's our present that defines us. Make each day count towards progress and make the most of the moment. And when I thought about this, when I was reading it, I was like, man, that's pretty powerful. Because a lot of times you will hear people say you are defined by your past. Like what you did before defines who you are today. But what I was thinking when I wrote this is that what you already did cannot be undone. The past is the past. There's no time machine. There's no flux capacitor. There's no way for us to go back and erase what we did or alter what we did. When we write the past is written in pen, not an eraser, not in chalk, not pencil where you can just wipe it off. It's written in pen. It's already done. All we have is the moment that we're in. All we have is the present. All we have is today. And it's the choices that we make today that will determine what shows up in our lives tomorrow. It's the choices that we make today that will determine what shows up in our businesses tomorrow. It's the choices that we make today that will decide what shows up in our relationships tomorrow. So what are you doing today to make progress? Because that's what it's all about. It's about consistent progress over time. Consistent progress over time. We don't have to run sprints. Life is a marathon, and it's a marathon that you can only run one time. So make the most of the moment. Make the most of the day. Make the most of the time. Make the most of the present, because that's all we have. And I know sometimes we're thinking ahead to the future, but we can be so far in the future that we miss what's happening right now in the present moment. So what are you doing today to make progress? You don't have to do everything in one day. It is consistent progress over time, because the past is done. The present is all we have. That was my thought when I was reading this. Like, man, this is so powerful. I don't even remember writing it. And I was reading it and I read it over and over and over again to myself, because I was like, wow, this is pretty deep. What I was thinking, whatever I was going through at that moment, whatever I was thinking at that moment, well, I'm glad I captured it. I'm glad I wrote it down, because progress is more important than anything. Luke Cage was a TV show on Netflix, and one of the things they would say on that show was always forward, forward, always. Always forward, forward, always. Making forward progress is what we need. See, your goal, your dream, your vision for your life, for your business, for your family, for your relationships, it takes consistent progress to get there. It takes daily activity to get there. It's not about doing everything all at once or trying to do it quick and fast. It's about making consistent progress over time. That's what success is about. It's consistency and persistency. You got to be persistent and consistent. And that's how you make the progress. But it's not about looking back towards the past. It's about focusing on the present. Today's all we have. Maximize the moment today. Make each day count. Make each moment count. And you'll start to see the results show up in your life. That's my thought for you this evening. That's my thought for you tonight, my Reluctant Success family, as part of this 31 days of sharing. I know sometimes it's difficult and challenging to take action every day, because there's things that happen in life. Stuff happens, right? But part of being reluctantly successful is knowing that it's not about how much you do. It's about doing something. It's not about how much you do. It's about doing something. If you just do a little bit today, it's better than doing nothing. If you just do a little bit with the moment, it's better than doing nothing. So it's not the past. It's not the past. It's not the past. It's our present that defines us. So make each day count towards progress and make the most of the moment. Until next time, my friends, my Reluctant Success family, be valiant, be vigilant,